Hello, this is Darren Paran from BEd 3H2. So we have asked to choose best strategy that suits to me and to my future students. So for me, the best strategy that suits to me and to my future students in teaching mathematics in intermediate grades is lecture discussion method. So what is lecture discussion method? Lecture discussion method is a teaching method that is designed to help students understand the organized body of knowledge. For example, the topics that relate the facts, concepts, principles, and procedures, and make the relationship between them explicit and clear. Usually, during classroom discussions, the instructor will first lecture for a certain amount of time. After the lecture ends, the instructor asks students questions requiring them to answer with concrete examples and reflect on their understanding of the topic. The effectiveness of the lecture discussion model comes from three sources, and these are schema theory, meaningful verbal learning, and active learner involvement. Schema theory is a theoretical view of knowledge construction that says that the information people store in memory consists of networks of organized and interconnected ideas, relationships, and procedures. It uses what students already know by building on their existing background. Meaningful verbal learning is the acquisition of ideas that are linked to other ideas. Meaningful learning occurs when the ideas in a new schema are connected not only to each other but to previously established schemata as well. It presents information in a systematic way. So, active learner involvement, it is the third principle that increases the effectiveness of the lecture discussion model is involvement of students. It uses teacher questioning to involve students actively in the learning process. The application of lecture discussion method can be based from Gagne's 9 events of instruction. Robert Gagne's 9 events of instruction model is a systematic process that helps them develop strategies and create activities for instructional classes. Each step addresses a form of communication that supports the learning process. When each step is completed, learners are much more likely to be engaged and to retain the information or skills that they are being taught. The first events of instruction is gain attention. You can utilize icebreaker activities, current news and events, case studies, YouTube videos, and so on. The object is to quickly grab student attention and interest in the topic. The second event of instruction is inform learners of objectives. Here, you can include learning objectives in lecture slides and in instructions for activities, projects, and so on. The third event is stimulate recall of prior learning. Here, you can recall events from previous lectures, integrate results of activities into the current topic, and or relate previous information to the current topic. You can also employ oral recitation activities. The next event is present the content. Utilize a variety of methods including lecture, readings, activities, projects, multimedia, and others. Present or post content via a learning management system to allow students to access the materials outside, of course, meeting times. The fifth event is provide learning guidance. With learning guidance, the rate of learning increases because students are less likely to lose time or become frustrated by basing performance on incorrect facts or poorly understood concepts. You can include detailed information such as rubrics for projects and activities. Provide expectations, instructions, and timelines. The sixth event is elicit performance. You can encourage students to apply what they are learning in group or individual projects and activities, written assignments, lab practicals, and so on. Scaffold high-stakes assessment with smaller activities so students can practice and receive feedback before turning in something for a larger grade. The seventh event is provide feedback. Provide detailed feedback on assignments showing student what was done correctly, what must be improved, and include explanation. Utilize rubrics when possible. Give formative feedback on smaller assignments as well as summative feedback on larger assessments. Next is provide feedback to discussion boards in online courses. Next is utilize peer evaluation and self-evaluation or self-assessment methods. The eighth event is assess performance. Utilize a variety of assessment methods including exams, quizzes, written assignments, projects, and so on. Utilize rubrics when grading activities that are not standard exam and quiz questions. Ensure that students have practiced and received feedback prior to high-stakes assessments. And the last event is enhance retention and transfer to the job. Provide opportunities for students to relate course work to their personal experiences when designing essays and projects. Provide opportunities for discussion in small groups or using a discussion board. Allow students to reflect on what they have learned and how they will use that knowledge or those skills in the future. Have students create a reference for their future selves that summarizes what they have learned. So why should instructors include classroom discussions during the lecture? So implementing classroom lecture discussion method has many benefits. The advantages include the increases students' interest and engagement, provides instructor with feedback, promotes preparation, develops students' speaking skills, and last, controls the classroom environment. So promoting and facilitating classroom lecture discussions can not only help students learn from one another, but also help students understand and retain the lecture better. And that ends my discussion. Again, this is Darlene Paran. Thank you and God bless.